borders, it's deeper than the expanded credit. It can ruin everything. Romney, who has proposed his some child allowance legislation, is in some ways more generous than the expanded child tax credit that was implemented by the American Rescue Plan. It was echoed that sentiment, indicating that the increase in child poverty was to be expected. Democrats also continue to attempt to leverage reimplementation of the expanded credit in exchange for extending a popular research and development credit, although the strategy has not yet succeeded. Democrats insist that there is room for bipartisanship on the issue. After all, Republican tax cuts in the Job Acts of 2017 expanded the amount for this, but Republicans have pointed to the cost of the expanded credit, although some experts argue the returns will be 10 times the price tag. Big news, there is new relief coming for you. There's a new list of states providing direct financial relief to families and senators and seniors across the country. The relief is set to be arriving in multiple different ways. There are new tax refund checks available in some states. As homeowners brace for big property tax bills, a bipartisan group of state lawmakers are launching an effort to keep those taxes for older people in Ohio. It's called the 70 Under 70 Plan, and it would freeze property taxes at the current levels for people older than 70, whose income is less than 70 grand. Eligible seniors must also own their homes for at least 10 years, and some representatives have said it is the best ability to plan and keep their home. Now, the move comes as people and property values hit historic highs in counties across the world. And while that doesn't translate into 30-40% increase in property taxes, well, people are seeing significant increases in their bills. Some representatives are sponsoring a bill, and they say now is the moment for people to not only help its seniors and help the seniors stay in their homes. Now, in November, Idaho homeowners will also know how much of a tax break they'll get. The savings will be calculated for each individual taxpayer and appear on the property tax notice, which counties send to homeowners in November. Alex Dornfest, the Idaho State Tax Commission tax policy chief, crunched numbers using 2022 property tax totals. The money for homeowners' property tax relief was 17%, the total of all homeowners' property taxes. The number will change because levy rates will have gone up or down in many of the state's 1,000 plus taxing districts. But Dornfest's estimated percentage is similar to estimated cuts of 10% to 20% that Governor Brad Little shared as they promoted House bills. Now, this is the state of Washington, and they provided a tax refund up to $1,200 for certain eligible taxpayers. The Working Families Tax Credit will make payments up to $1,200 to people who are eligible for these payments. Even the Georgia governor is again suspending state tax on gas and diesel, declaring a legal emergency over high prices. He has signed the executive order this morning in the suspension of taxes at 32 cents a gallon. Now, Georgia's government gave up an estimated $1 billion during an early suspension over 10 months to help the people out. Georgia can easily proceed to go cash, now, which is used for mainly board building, but not only is the rainy day account full, but the roughly $10 billion is actually surplus cash in state accounts. The state is likely to run another multi-billion-dollar surplus in a budget year, unless revenues fall shortly. But the gas tax rebate lets Kemp instead pivot to talking about things like his tax cut efforts. He says they're an attempt to help Georgia residents fight inflation and stay in their homes.
Would you consider, or are you guys discussing any possible rules changes either on a bipartisan basis or unilaterally as Democrats to deal with the Tuberville?
Look, the bottom line is this is a Republican problem. Don't pawn it off on us. It was created by Tuberville solely himself. And it's up to the Republicans to put pressure on him to back off, plain and simple. Now, we're already seeing that pressure mount. Last week, one of the major Republican candidates for Senate, Nikki Haley, said that Tuberville ought to back off. And just a few days ago, one of the most powerful and influential congressmen in the House, Congressman Call, said the same thing. The pressure is mounting. Tuberville should back off. What he's doing is disgraceful and solely his own causing. Don't pawn it off on us. Yes.
Is it a red line that Tuberville holds? Is that to say that
That's good, because thanks to the COLA, many experts were quick to point out that money may not go too far due to surging inflation. However, the most recent inflation data has promising news for those on Social Security. Like I said, it turns out your boost benefits might go farther than you think. Now, in 2022, seniors are burdened by inflation, we all know that, but the SSA calculated that COLA by tracking the third quarter consumer price index for the urban wage earners clerical workers refund. That's done by year to year. And what I mean by this, folks, is that Based on the third quarter inflation data, seniors received a 5.9% COLA increase in 2022. However, inflation was still far beyond the 6% throughout the year, causing benefits to lose a substantial amount of money. So, throughout most of 2022, CPIW hovered around 8 to 9%, leading to an 8.7% COLA for 2023. And the good news is that since COLA was announced in October, inflation has slowed, everybody. And according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, this is what it means. The CPIW increase was 7.1% in the 12 months ending November 2022. That's down 7% in October and 8% in September. So with that happening, in other words, inflation has slowed slightly over the past few months. Seniors are still receiving a larger than average boost in benefits. That means your check may actually go further than experts previously thought. And because of that, well, another bright spot for seniors is that considering how inflation has slowed over the past few months, it's promising news. So Medicare Part B costs have decreased, and also, besides that, typical these premiums are automatically deducted from your monthly benefit amount and are lower cost, so that can mean larger than expected checks just for you, folks. Just for you. Because however the average benefit amount, the SSA takes an average about of your earnings around 35 years of your career that you earned the most money from. So that number is then run through a complex formula to complex and account for inflation, and the result is your primary insurance amount. So, for instance, your primary insurance amount is the amount you'll receive if you begin to claim your full retirement age. The figure will depend on your birth year, but everyone's full retirement age will fall between the ages of 66 and 67. The earlier you begin claiming, the less you'll receive each and every month. And now, even if you meet all the other requirements from the Social Security benefits, well, if you filed at age 62, the most you could receive is around $2,600 per month for stimulus cash. So claiming at age 65, the maximum benefit increase, well, that's around $3,300. And at age 70, you'll be eligible for the full benefit amount of $4,500. In general, the higher your income, the more you qualify for in benefits. However, only income up to a certain limit is subject to Social Security taxes. Because once you surpass this limit, you won't even pay additional taxes and your benefit amount will not even increase. Folks, I hope President Biden could do something about this and send out stimulus payments before it's too late for the people.
An all-time high. When I talk about 210,000 in November of 2022, a year before that, we were at 131,000 for November, and a year before that, before President Biden took office, we were around 20,000. So we've gone from 20,000 to 210,000. Just as scary, and I'm somebody who believes in intact families, just as scary is the callousness of the Biden administration to the degree to which